man. Yep, it's back. And yeah, I'm talking about my voice, not necessarily me. I haven't gone anywhere. But yeah, it's good to be back, everybody, with the voice that you all have grown to be annoyed by. Anyway, happy Monday, everybody. I am coming to you from the bunker. Quite a bit to talk about today. Obviously, if you saw the title, I'm going to be talking a little bit about night vision and that type of fun stuff because we just dropped our latest episode in the Bolt Gun series, which is all about nighttime shooting, night vision, thermal, infrared, all that type of stuff. And we'll be talking a little bit about tonight and what that experience was like. And also, as is with every week, ask me anything. You guys drop it down in the chat, comment section, wherever you're at on Rumble or Facebook. My personal Facebook, because Facebook, Classic Firearms, they don't get along, okay? YouTube, of course, Twitch, and are we streaming anywhere else that I forgot about? I said Rumble. I'm just going to say Rumble again and leave it at that. And Jared from Guns and Gadgets, I will text you back, bro, if you're watching, which I know you never watch YouTube, so you're probably not. But anyway, we're just catching up about some stuff because I told him, I don't know if you watched my lives or not, but I'm always featuring Blackout Coffee Company because I love and respect what they do, especially their partnership with Gun Owners of America, even though I'm never drinking their coffee on camera because I'm usually drinking scotch, which tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I've got Oban with me. Oban Little Bay. This is a single malt, of course. That is one of my favorites and one that, it's really freaking good. I like those smoky, peaty scotches, and that's what I've got in my Blackout Coffee Co. mug. Hey, if you're watching this at a later time, that is all good. I'm glad you tuned in anyways. Be sure to tune in. Most Mondays is when you can find me, sometimes Fridays, depending on what my schedule looks like. But most Mondays, you can find me right here, wherever you're watching right now, whether, again, that be Rumble, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. I think that's all of them. And be sure to comment down below and say hi. I'm going to go back to last 3 weeks ago, however long it was, that video and catch some of those comments later in this stream. And, of course, the live chat. Now, if you want to make sure your comment, your question, your whatever it might be gets read, be sure to send either a super chat or whatever they call it in Rumble. I don't remember. It's also a super chat. And before we go any further, I want to go ahead and thank the sponsors of today's live stream, which is all of you watching, because we're a business. We're Classic Firearms. We sponsor ourselves and you guys. And I saw one of the comments talking about something, the morality of capitalism or whatever. And I'll find it here and I'll put it up on the screen here in just a second. Maybe if I can find it, I got to scroll through quick. There it is. Samuel, quick. What is everyone's moral reasoning why capitalism is good? I can tell you right now, one of those reasonings is I'm able to talk to you guys right here because the business that employs me is ultimately in a market that, well, is a supply and demand type of market, and also it's a competitive market. And that is something that I really appreciate because, well, it puts food on the table for me and my family, and I love that. And on top of that, it also comes to individualism and also those efforts. So good question, Samuel. Just let us know, y'all's response down in the chat too, all about that from Samuel. And let's go ahead and kick tonight off. You'll notice behind me, since we are going to be talking a little bit about night vision and what that is all like, I do have well, it's not that impressive, but it's still night vision. No, I do not own the night with this setup, but I can tell you it's a lot of fun still, and I'm a lot better with it than I am without it, and I don't have white light. White light is great, except it gives away your position, right? So, there's that. Anyway, I do have a single tube PVS 14 on my Guard Dog Body Armor 3, a helmet, and of course the Peltors that are on that helmet are the cheap ones. They're like, I don't know, I got them off our site and they're not expensive. They're fine. They're not my favorite. I'm probably going to replace them with my walkers, which are out of arm's reach right now, and I'll probably do that at a later time. But anyway, it'll be pretty fun for you guys to comment down below about the morality of capitalism. I think that's a thought-provoking question. And so thank you for asking that one. And we've already got one super chat coming in from our buddy Tanner, which you guys definitely know. He is a frequent viewer. So thank you, Tanner, for tuning in. Appreciate you. Your business that you talked about starting, any interest in a silent investor / sponsor would be awesome to help you out and also be a tax write-off. Well, I completely appreciate that. Thank you so much, Tanner. And once I make this something a little bit more tangible, maybe I'll put out that type of opportunity, but I kind of like the risk just being with me. You know what I mean? At this point, I don't want to try to satisfy any investors or anything. And also with my personal life, it's going to be a little bit before I get this up and going, but it'll probably be happening pretty soon. So anyway, but thank you, Tanner. I greatly appreciate that, man. That means a lot, honestly. Thank you. And, let's scroll back up to the beginning over here. Very first comment, we've got Ground Fog just giving a simple wave. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate that. You guys like the picture, also the thumbnail. That is me in my Skeletac plate carrier, of course, the level 4 guard dog plates. And I dressed up that day for the Scar 16 giveaway that we were doing, and that was just a lot of fun. Yes, I tried to do my entire Call of Duty Ghost look and all that type of stuff. All right. Muhammad Furkan Kankaya, you related to Kaya? Ask me anything. What? AMA, what? Just ask me anything, man. Whatever you guys want to talk about, all right? So there you go. Yes, here at 7, Simplified Jeremy, good to see you. Made it. Cheers, everyone. Cheers to you, Keith. Go ahead and taking that first little break. Thank you. Very good. What shenanigans are we getting into tonight? That is up to you guys and the direction that you want to see this live stream go. We're here for a couple of hours, so let's do it. Scott or Derek, I am all in. Perfect, Scott. Yes, I do have a voice. Got Samuel over here. Samuel Foster, my man. Good to see you, dude. Again, thanks for that thought-provoking question earlier. And yes, that's what the scotch is for, to help me with my voice. And here we are. Cheers to all of you guys. And maybe one day, maybe I got to smoke a couple more cigarettes or something. I don't know. But maybe one day I'll hit puberty and my voice will deepen. Just damn it. Anyway. Samuel's also saying, just don't start quoting Sling Blade, or actually I would find that funny. Well, you like those French fried taters, whatever he says. Anyway, there you go. Great movie. No, Tactical Jawa, good to see you, man. I did not go to the T-Swizzle concert. Look, I don't really give a crap about celebrities personally, but Taylor Swift, I don't think she makes bad music, but she's way overrated, right? I mean, she goes to a restaurant and these crowds are swarming and stuff. Like, what lives do people have where they do that? Like, dear God. I met Jeff Gordon once, and I lived in, Concord at that point in time at a Steak and Shake, and I don't know, he's a little bit shorter than I thought, but he drives real good, so, whatever. Anyway, I guess it depends on who it is, right? Who would I go that crazy for? Probably the guy that I owe it all to, God. Anyway, let's see here. See the Brett Cooper with 40,000 vision. Yeah, Dragon Rider over here. So Brett Cooper, awesome personality. She, I think, was with T-Rex Arms, and they did a night vision video, and pretty cool stuff. So it's really cool to get some people that aren't that fluent, or whatever the word is that I'm looking for, in this world, go out and actually try some stuff. It's pretty cool. We shot with Tim Montana not too long ago. I don't think I was actually supposed to say that, and this is a live stream, so no takesy backsies. Sorry, marketing team. I will own that one, but that video will be coming out soon, and he's a great guy. He is a singer, not a shooter, but he still loves guns, and he proves that in this video that's coming out, which you guys will see, at some point when we're ready for that. Anyway, whoopsies. Let's see here. Mike is saying that white phosphorus night vision is the best, and yeah, it is. That stuff just works really, really well, and there's something about original night vision being green, because green naturally is a lot easier for the human eye to perceive, and white phosphorus night vision now, and more recent technology and whatever, is it is superior. That's all there is to it, you know. So Isaiah is wanting to know if I'm 25 or 45. I am pretty much right in the middle of that. So yes. And continuing on, Andy Dom 130. What's up, man? Good to see you. Sup, Clint? Cheers. Cheers to you. What you drinking tonight? I'm drinking some Redwood Empire Lost Monarch. Oh, I need to try that one, obviously. Have some ammunition bourbon on standby, both from California. I also have some ammunition bourbon from California on standby. So, and Beretta mags blocking, getting in the way with my FNX 45 and my Henry Big Boy 357 and my concealed carry loadout. But anyway, there we go. So yeah, awesome. Well, cheers to you, Andy. Thanks for the comment, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's going to be a good night. I got a feeling it's going to definitely be a good night. Connor, that's funny. Actually, I am a 6 award expert, which means I shot expert every year that I've been shooting because I'm 12 years in the Marines and we only have to shoot every 2 years, you know what I mean? Or qualify every 2 years. But it's okay. It's all right. It's all good. This bolt gun series was pretty interesting. I did learn quite a bit. And I think my biggest downfall was, overconfidence, because we were only shooting out, to 500 yards, not even, and 308 is more than capable at 500 yards. And I've always gone really well with Kentucky windage, things like that. And I could always pick up, even with 308, oh, okay, I hit a little to the right, so let me just aim a little more to the left and just pull that trigger to get me through this drill. Well, that didn't really work out that well this time at all. And even when I thought I was completely zeroed, that barrel, I assume, would start to cool down or heat up. And then all of a sudden my shots were just everywhere. So if you haven't watched the bolt gun series, I definitely say go check it out. I did terrible, spoiler alert, but can't win them all, I guess. So maybe next time we do a long range series, we actually do some distance shooting. And again, I'm trying to get up with my buddy Brandon, Texas Planking, to head down there and do some 1,000-yard shots. And of course, I'm going to want to do some movement with that. And I would like to do kind of like a bring your own build, BYOB, if you will. And me, Kaya, Ryan, Matt, we tried to do that 1,000-yard shot, maybe even some unknown distance, depending on where our movement is, on our own, right? And I think that would be a little bit more skill-based and a whole lot more fun and quite a bit more challenging. So let me know if that would be something you guys would like to see. All right, so this is also a really good question here coming from JC6683. For civilians, think about this. Is it really necessary to get night vision kits? Well, JC6683, look at it this way, right? At the end of it all, is it necessary? No. Nothing truly is necessary, right? Except maybe to eat, water, basics of survival. You know what I mean? Everything else is kind of a luxury. And when it comes to body armor, when it comes to night vision, when it comes to your weapons, things like that, all of that is kind of a luxury at the end of the day. So is it necessary? No, but when you think about the responsibility for civilians, especially in this country, at the end of the day, we are the militia. I would say it's absolutely necessary because it comes down to your personal responsibility of you and yourself, just like communication and teamwork and, small unit leadership and also being involved with the community and then getting to know people that are like-minded and start building these types of communities and start building these types of support systems. So that way, if things ever do take a Red Dawn type of turn, or if things just go bad because of a natural disaster, you have the type of people that have the skill sets, the abilities, the equipment to be able to support you and your team. So is it necessary? No. But I can tell you right now, I'm not going to be the guy on my team that's going to be lacking and not able to keep up. You know what I mean? Now, granted, there's ways around that, okay? There's white light, there's different forms of communication, positive identification of targets, things like that, that you might be able to work out amongst you and your team. And if I'm talking about a team and you're like, oh man, that's already a lot, work on that, So I find it necessary to be part of the kit at the end of the day. Granted, you know, living a debt-free life is also something that I look forward to one day. um, Probably not one day soon. But at the end of it all, I have said this, and I kind of actually truly believe it. Firearms are a good reason to go into debt. And I'm not just saying that because I work for a firearms retailer. No, I'm saying that because I would be willing to go into debt to make sure that I have substantial equipment to defend me and my loved ones. You know what I mean? And I can pay that off as time goes. One thing I would never be able to pay off is if I lost one of them because I had inadequate gear, if I lost my life because I had inadequate equipment. You know what I mean? So there's a fine line that you got to kind of gamble with there. So don't sell your house for a $40,000 kit or anything like that, or your car or whatever, but invest wisely. I'll just say that. All right. So there you go. And let me know down in the chat too, what you guys think about that and all of your, you know what I mean? You just let me know what you guys think. All right. So continuing on here, you guys are debt-free is overrated. You know, I see what you're saying, Keith, but if there comes a point where if you are suffocating because of your debt, you're suffering because of your debt, then it might be an issue. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of people in this country that are drowning in debt. And that is, of course, by design. And that is something that I think a lot of people need to get out of. So keep that in mind. All right. Also, I've got a couple of super chats here. Then we'll get back into the live chats. We've got a couple of them here. Got another one from Tanner. Thank you so much, Tanner. Would you rather get rid of the ATF or the IRS? The ATF. I can choose not to pay the IRS. I mean, you know what I mean? But the ATF, I feel like, are doing everything they possibly can. I feel like the ATF is the lesser of two evils in this point, because the ATF is actually, and now granted, the IRS are doing their shady shit too, don't get me wrong, but the ATF is doing stuff a lot more roguely and belligerently tyrannical than what I think the IRS is doing, which the IRS is doing a little bit more behind the scenes. The ATF is doing it a little bit more bluntly, along with the FBI. And so, you know, like the FBI can almost, like if I'm playing devil's advocate here, I can almost vouch for it. And it's not just because Kaya works with us. No, it's because what they do for human trafficking and protecting of children and things like that, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm cool with that. I can see some good there. But the ATF, I mean, what literally do they do that's good? And I'm asking a legitimate question here. Besides trampling rights, yes, I understand that there are other two letters, or the Bureau of the Alcohol, Tobacco, the first two letters, firearms and explosives, right? And it's kind of like, okay, so alcohol and tobacco, those things are, you know, pretty well regulated, but they're not, you know, like protected rights at the end of the day, you know, like. I mean, the Second Amendment's literally number 2. Why does an organization have to preside over that? Or an organization, an agency like the ATF? No. Maybe if they just stuck to alcohol and tobacco, sure, fine. Get out of my face. Make sure that restaurants aren't selling alcohol to, you know, underage kids. Okay. Make sure tobacco companies aren't selling to underage kids. Okay, whatever. You know, fine. But firearms? No. Sorry. By the way, alcohol and tobacco definitely kills a lot more people every year than firearms do. So there's that. Continuing on over here, Super Coops. What's up, man? Because of you, Kays and Matt, I'm getting back into guns and currently shopping for a rifle and pistol. Cheers. Well, first of all, that is awesome. That is something that I love to hear. And back into guns. So you got out of guns for a while. Was there a reason for that? Was there something that you know, did you just lose interest? You know what I mean? Granted, I get they can be expensive. You know what I mean? Like we've already talked about going into debt for firearms and stuff like that. But I get that they can be expensive. I get that sometimes it's kind of like, okay, what's the purpose of having so much whatever? And, you know, if I live in an apartment, you know, it's not like I can have a safe room in my apartment. You know what I mean? So depending on your lifestyle and things like that will depend on exactly what you can do. right? So I totally get, like, maybe it's not at the top of your hobbies or whatever else like that. I see what you're saying, but I'm happy you're getting back into it though. Let me know what you're planning on getting, and let's get back over to the live stream. And we've got D, because every other system is a failure and un-American, talking about anything other than capitalism. Food, having food is good. Yes, that is also very true. Why capitalism is better. There you go. S. Suze, hi Clint, cheers from Buckeye Firearms Association to a fellow Scotch connoisseur. Cheers to you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, man. Also, Scott the Prussian Rush says less gulags. Less gulags are good. I like that. And continuing over here, Canada, Ike. I miss Sarah. Sarah will be back on the channel soon. Don't you worry. She is super busy. If you guys aren't following at the Peace of Mind _ PIECE, go check her out. She'll give updates every now and then, but she's been super busy. Photography is her main profession, and she is very busy. Wedding season, stuff like that, and so she'll be back soon though. All right. Crunchy Taco 05. Hey Clint, how you been, man? I've been doing pretty well. A lot of things happening. But every now and then I get to come on here and talk with you guys, and have a good couple of hours, just hanging out with a lot of people that I've never met, some that I have, and it's always good. So thank you. I appreciate you, Crunchy Taco. Thanks for tuning in. All right. Let's see here. Caleb, Half Acre. Thoughts on the AGM PVS 14 Gen 2 Plus? That is an AGM PVS 14 Gen 2. Again, not super fancy, but it works really, really well, and I like it a lot. And there you go. The IR illuminator is sufficient for, smaller rooms in complete darkness. That works really well. It's green, again, it's not super fancy, but it is pretty cool. And no matter who puts the helmet on their head and flips the helmet down, they're like, oh, wow, this is really cool. I can see everything. And it's like, wait till you try some binos, because what I want is some white phosphor PVS 31s. I'm thinking 31As, and going with that route, maybe one day. AGM, if you ever want to hook a brother up, I'd be happy to have that conversation with you, just saying. But anyway, Geo, no, if you guys were on, I thought about it. All right. Geo, good to see you, man. If you guys follow me on Instagram at, magdump _Morgan, you guys saw where Guard Dog Body Armor, liked what the image that Classic Firearms used to announce that we were going live tonight. So they posted that up on their page. And, then they put out a poll. Actually, let's see what the poll is at right now. Talking about Guard Dog Body Armor. So yeah, so that's funny. So 64% of everybody said yes, obviously I should be in full kit tonight. There's the whatever, but 64% yes, obviously I should be in full kit tonight. 36% said no, needs more gear, and 0% said body armor only. So thanks, Guard Dog, for that boost of confidence. Anyway, no, I'm not. Maybe next time. Very slight, maybe. Okay, but anyway, let's see here. I see one question. Cam is talking about Red Bullet. I'm assuming asking about the first handgun. There it is. Yep. So it's like asking what first car should you get. There are so many options, and it also depends on your budget. And here is the original comment from Red Bullet 578. Going to get my first handgun soon. What do you recommend? And it really comes down to this. What is your overall purpose for this firearm? Do you want something to be your everyday / concealed carry? Do you want a home defense handgun? Do you want a plinker? Do you want a range toy? I know I shouldn't say toy with firearms, but you guys get what I'm saying. So there's a lot, right? Some of my favorite pistols that I like to shoot, if you're like, man, there's so many. Give me specifics, Red Bullet. Give me specifics about what the purpose of this firearm will be. And let's get into that conversation there. But I'm sure a lot of people will have a lot of good answers for you too. So there you go. Let's see here. Mike, thank you very much, man. You're new to the channel. Appreciate that. And it looks like we've got some Joker with the ball peen and wasn't what did he beat Robin to death with? Was it the was it a crowbar? Is that what it was? I can't remember. And which one is that from? Is that the one where he took his face off? I'm a DC Comics nerd when it comes to Batman and the Joker. Just throwing that out there. And The Killing Joke, by the way, if you guys haven't watched that animated series, I mean, the graphic novel is great, but the animated movie is awesome. They did a great job with that. Really jacked up. Anyway, continuing on here. Let's see here. I'm here. Zombie Plays. Good to see you, man. Thank you very much. I also saw that we got a chat from Michael, who's one of our previous contestant winners. He won the SMG 45 way back when, and I am trying to find your chat now, Michael, if you're still in here, so give me just a second. There it is. Perfect. Michael, I live in Arizona, need night vision as my car's been hit by pack rats twice in weeks, costing me over $900 of replacement wiring. They are chewing through. Pew, pew, pew. Hi, Clint. Good to see you, man. So clip on, things like that, you know, I mean, there's things like that you can go for, of course. But night vision, again, it's not just for the Russians falling out of the sky at 2 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? So there you go. Also going back to talking about the 3-letter agencies, but why are the IRS agents armed? Why is the Internal Revenue Service arming their agents with, like, I don't know, what some people would consider weapons of war? Imagine that, right? Ironic. You know, that's a good question. Why do tax agents need to be armed at the end of the day? Well, I guess we'll find out soon enough. And this is something I want to say to you guys also, is take advantage of this time right now. Always be buying magazines. If you can afford it, you know, even if it's just a box with each paycheck, start buying ammunition. You know, if you can do a bulk pack, you know, do that. But even if it's just, you know, 100 rounds, 50 rounds, 40 rounds, 2 20-round packs of 5.56, whatever your caliber of choice is, you know, just start doing that and start putting it in a dry spot somewhere. You know what I mean? Ammo lasts for a very long time as long as it's actually kept somewhere cool and dry. And it does really well for a long period of time. And I'll never forget my dad having a spam cam of 45 ACP that was packaged in 1942. He bought it at a gun show, opened it up, and it ran flawlessly. Like, the stuff was World War II era, and he was like, it's on sale. I'm going to buy it and shoot it. I don't care about the integrity of the can. It looks cool, but it's ammo. Who gives a shit? I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, we shot the hell out of it and it worked great. You know what I mean? So as long as it's packaged well and in a cool, dry place, gather the stuff, gather the equipment, gather the tools. And I'm not saying to be expecting any type of violence or anything like that, but just do it because at any point in time, I mean, different states are already banning body armor and stuff like that. And body armor has a shelf life. Ceramic plates have a shelf life of usually somewhere between 7 to 10 years, somewhere in there. Granted, I'm keeping body armor on hand because I want to shoot it 10 years down the road and see if it holds up or not. You know what I mean? So guard dog, you know, hopefully we still have a good relationship in 10 years. But anyway, you know, it's all stay strapped. And that means preparation for everything: gear, survival, food, water, all that type of stuff. If you can get out of big cities, get out of big cities. If you can get near a water source, a renewable water source, do that. I mean, hell, the government wants to tax and prevent you from doing everything. I mean, technically collecting rainwater is illegal. You know what I mean? Like, why? Why is that illegal? And so many other things. So, you know, there you go. Also, I saw an interesting comment just now. Also, One Car Fast. ATF is part of the IRS. They collect the tax stamps on NFA items. I mean, they all work together. They're all in it together. The ATF and FBI work together when they go and, you know, trample on somebody's rights and shoot their dogs. And they did that, I mean, multiple times. I mean, Waco is a really good example. Ruby Ridge is another really good example. The recent guy that had the entire Liberty Safe controversy is a good example. I mean, so there's all sorts of stuff. But anyway, so there you go. And also, you don't go to prison for 10 years for illegal tobacco. I mean, I didn't really ever think of that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, there you go. So, anyway, Continuing on over here, Scott the Prussian. I worked with the FBI when I was in the Army and the Secret Service. Pretty interesting. What did you do? If you can talk about that. Not sure what your, secret clearance is or whatever, but, there you go. The ATF is wrong completely. Some rules are needed, but firearms, no. Call sign Brit. Hats off to you. All right. We got talking about conspiracies and everything else too, or, not trusting the government. That's not a conspiracy. You just shouldn't. Rusty Shackelford, what's up, dude? And now we have an Office of Gun Violence Protection, so they can funnel taxpayer money to activist groups. Yeah, this new Office of Gun Violence Protection, this is some sort of, I haven't looked into it a whole lot just yet, but everything that I've been seeing about it so far, obviously it's not good. It was made by this administration, and Office of Gun Violence Protection sounds to me like, the gun control agency. You know what I mean? Like, what more help does the ATF need? It's like, okay, we're going to take away 70 ATF agents to keep the government from shutting down, but we're going to open up this other entity that's ultimately going to be doing the same thing that the ATF currently does. See about that, right? Just more treading. Just tread on me harder, Govey. So that's fun. Anyway, Keith Decker is also saying that Ian from Forgotten Weapons did a good video about the ATF and pistol brace issue. I'll have to check it out. Haven't seen that, so I'll be staying up on that one. And Prison Mike at Michael Santa, live in Arizona too, and the fact that it gets very dark out here in the desert makes night vision even more appealing. Yep, I've been to California plenty of times out in the desert out there, and yes, it gets very, very dark, So there you go. All right, here, continuing on, we got Chelsea Knight. Thanks for tuning in, Chelsea. Appreciate you. What are your opinions on the Enigma Filster holster? I've got it sitting right over there because it is... Let me get through the rest of your question. I was very disappointed they don't offer a holster size for my Smith & Wesson Equalizer. So... there are solutions to this. Every now and then, my buddy Eric from Alpha Omega Kydex Holsters will tune in, and he might be able to answer this question, and I can actually send him a text real quick. But what's really cool about the Filster Enigma and things like that, or the Enigma Filster, whatever, is that it is, as long as you have another holster that is compatible with the Enigma, you can actually mate those two. Bam, now you have that awesome setup, right? The Filster is awesome. It is a very, very comfortable holster, especially for women. Sarah, again, who we've already talked about a little bit earlier in the stream, she can still carries all the freaking time and likes to look good while doing it and wear more attractive clothing instead of looking like a guy or making it obvious that she's still carrying a firearm or off-body carry, which her and I both agree is not a good idea. And so there are different things that you can do to make sure that you get a holster that mates to the Enigma that allows you then to wear whatever holster for whatever firearm comfortably and, well, I guess efficiently, So there are things that you can do there. So thanks, Chelsea, for the super chat. Appreciate you tuning in. And good question, because I think a lot of people might have a concern like that. All right. We've got Tanner back over here. What dollar amount would you say is a lot to spend on guns and ammo every month? Asking for a friend, my wife. That's going to be, that's going to be based on your budget, right? I'm in a very blessed situation where I don't have to spend money on ammo. So if I need 1,000 rounds, I send a quick text message, and, or I walk out into the warehouse. So I'm like, hey, it's for video or whatever, you know what I mean? But if I am going to keep ammunition personally on hand for defense and stuff like that, yeah, I'm going to pay out of pocket for that. So the question's still valid at this point. And as far as what dollar amount would you say is a lot to spend on guns? If you're only making $1,000 a month, then, $100 will be a lot. But if you're making $3,000 a month, then maybe you'd be able to afford to say, okay, well, depending on whatever your other bills or whatever it is that you're having to pay for, then maybe $500. I mean, you can look at it as a percentage thing, maybe take a percentage out of each paycheck to put towards stockpiling, prepping, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. What works for you each month might also differ, I mean, if you had a car issue come up and you had to pay a mechanic for something, you're going to have to spend money on that and not guns and ammo right away. You know what I mean? So it really is going to be a budget thing. And there are also some times where you just say, everybody see Risky Business, one of Tom Cruise's early ones. Sometimes you just got to say, what the fuck, Joel? And you just swipe card and don't worry about it until that bill gets delivered at the end of the month. You know what I mean? So, yeah, there you go. Going back, talking about Sarah. Yeah, she doesn't post on Insta even lately. That's because, again, how busy she is on her actual profession. But she'll be back, so don't worry. Back there. Call sign Brit, hats off back. Thank you. Appreciate it. And continuing on here. One car fast. Allegedly, the union helmets are good target practice. Look, they're very blue. They're very blue. So they're easily seen. Anyway, not advocating for violence against anybody, unless they exhibit violence on me. Then okay, But again, every situation is different, right? So, hey, Clint, I'm currently in law enforcement, but getting out soon. Any job openings? Haha, Mike Ling. Mike, yeah. Law enforcement, I don't blame you for getting out. I don't know if you're just retiring or if it's no longer for you, but having worked, at a police department before for a couple of years, having known a lot of those guys that are no longer police officers, I think are really happy. Now, granted, the guys that stayed in and retired, good on them. And a few of them are actually really good officers. And I applaud those guys. They actually joined because they want to serve and protect. And then others get bullied their whole lives, and now they've got a gun and a badge and want to go back to bullying, So, oh well, what are you going to do? Good cops, bad cops, they all exist. Just like I think there are some good federal agents, and a majority aren't. But, whatever. Oh, man. As far as job openings go, look, man, the industry is really slow right now. I'll say that. And but you can always submit your resume. We'll always take a look at it. Just send it to sales@classicfirearms.com. It'll go to customer service. They'll file it. And if your resume ever looks like it might be a good fit for something that we have to offer, then there you go. So how about that? Continuing on here, we've got Ghost. What plate carrier is in the back, and why did you go with that carrier? So I went with this plate carrier by Guard Dog Body Armor. This is the Tracker, named after, I think, the first search and rescue dog on the ground zero at 9/11. Tracker, Trackr. And this one is my favorite plate carrier that Guard Dog has come out with. Let me back up so it goes into focus a little bit. And I don't want my ammunition bourbon to fall over because of all the cords that I have. Did I unplugged the right cord? Good. And anyway, this one is super comfortable. I decided to go with this one because it can fit to the body a little bit more. It's elastic on the sides. I actually have a different cummerbund on there, so I could put my side plates on there. But the actual cummerbund that it comes with is very comfortable. It's elasticy. It has, magazine pockets built in, stuff like that. And it conforms to the body and allows you to breathe. So it expands when you take a deep breath in, but it comes back and hugs you more, so it doesn't shift and shake a lot on your body and stuff like that. And it's also super affordable, which is very nice. So that's why I went with that guy. Also, may or may not have had a little bit of a hand in kind of picking out what I do and don't like about the plate carrier when it was in its prototype phase, and we kind of got it to where I like it, and we're always improving too, you know what I mean? So always looking at different things to make better with our buddies over at Guard Dog. So let us know what you guys would like to see in a plate carrier, and maybe we can make that happen. All right, let's get over to the super chats really quick over here. We've got Chase Carey. Hey, Clint, love the channel. Messaging you from Las Cruces, New Mexico. Loving the 2A fight here in my state. Come out sometime and have some bomb New Mexico food. That sounds like a good time to me, Chase. I'm sure we'll have some reason to go to New Mexico at some point. So, sure, I'll take you up on that. And, yeah, the governor over there, I think she's finding out really quick that we don't like tyrants in this country, even though it seems like we keep voting for them. But at the end of the day, we don't. And, yeah, that's that. So keep up the good fight in New Mexico. And that's what I got to say about that. Super Coops back over here. Truck driver just got to destination, looking at the T-Sauce PX9 and a decent AR. What affordable AR would you recommend? I got a few of them. And the T-Sauce PX9 is a pretty, I don't think it's actually all that slept on. It's a really nice pistol. Something that kind of caught me by surprise, because to me it was like, oh, it's another Turkish import. Can it kind of dominates, is the PX9 going to be that great? And it's actually a really comfortable, good shooting gun. And it's like, okay, and a very affordable firearm. So it's like, I see the attraction. And I've shot a lot the PX9 and its different variants, and they did a good job with it. I like it quite a bit. So there you go. And as far as affordable AR, I always recommend the IWI Zion, because it is just such a good out-of-the-box gun, the Zion 15. B5 Systems furniture, which you guys know I love. I mean, on, quite a bit of the firearms behind me, I got B5 stocks and grips and stuff like that. But Kyle talking about RIP the sales team inbox. Right. But anyway, yeah, so IWI Zion is a great one if you're looking for an affordable option. If Otter is in the chat, she'll be very happy to know that I have actually recently made contact with Sons of Liberty Gunworks, like recently as in yesterday. And so stay tuned there. I think we're going to be trying to do something with those guys, and Huxworks. I think it'll be pretty fun. But anyway, what are some other ones? I know Matt and I recently filmed a video, I think, talking about this. So you'll definitely see that video coming out soon. But continuing on here, Scott said that he was an EOD, explosive ordnance disposal. Awesome. I'm pretty much EOD, or at least that's what my recruiter told me when I signed up to become an ammunition technician. That was a lie. But anyway, it's okay. So what ammunition or what manufactures the ammo behind me, Steven is asking. And that is actually IMI. This, I thought I had, yep, I got a box this thing right here. This is the Razor Core 77 grain 5.56 hollow point boat tail ammunition. This stuff is fantastic. I am really a big fan of it. It's available. You can find it places. And with that, this is pretty much my go-to ammo. This is the stuff I like to stockpile and keep. The heavier 77 grain projectile has been proven that even in a shorter barrel like the Mark 18 has really good performance, especially closer range, things like that. So I'm a really big fan of this stuff here. Again, one of my really dependable go-tos. There you go. So there you go. Anyway, you guys talking about the blue helmets are pretty funny. Yes, definitely a Pogue, and I am proud of it. I will tell you that right now. I am really proud of my MOS, actually, because once I got in there, I realized we actually segregate ourselves from the rest of whoever we're attached to, which is great because we don't got to deal with all the bullshit. And I was sitting in Morocco in 2017 watching an infantry unit just hike across the horizon in the desert of the Sahara Desert. And one guy, he didn't even have time to stop and pick up his helmet that dropped off of his kit, and he's kicking it, trying to keep up with the platoon, and he's kicking it. And we're all kind of looking back like, damn, that sucks to be them. And they literally started at this point of the horizon and made it that point. It was about a 2 or 3 hour viewing. What were we doing, you ask? Well, our job was done for the day because all the ammunition that needed to be pulled for that infantry unit to go and shoot their range was done. They had everything they needed. And we just got done taking showers out of our home-built solar showers, and we were sitting on some lawn chairs, drinking our water because we didn't have alcohol at that point, and playing Uno and watching movies on my iPad. So there you go. I do not regret being a Pogue whatsoever. Oh, man. Anyway, let's see here. I got a couple more of the super chats coming in here, but before we get to those, the wife knows and just laughs. Good. It's good. It's good when the significant other knows about spending habits and what's a priority. You know, guns and ammo is definitely a priority. Granted, food, that's a good priority too, but you can also use the gun and ammo to get food. Tradesies. Anyway, yes, 2311 is a long way from EOD. That is true, Gunner USMC. Chief Warrant Officer 3. Gunner, what up? Nice to see you. it is definitely a long way from EOD. However, you ask a recruiter, oh, yeah, you'll be handling munitions and you learn how to blow stuff up at your MOS school. Oh, that's cool. We learn how to set off a blasting cap in case we ever have to dispose of ammunition, which in my going on 13 years, I've never had to do. And typically they just burn it anyways, unless it's larger than a 50 cal. So that's not EOD. Thanks, Staff Sergeant Long. I'll never forget you. Anyway, that was my recruiter. Continuing on over here. Let's see. We've got Derek Rogers. Clint, I'm currently looking for a nice first focal plane LPVO. Can you recommend a few? Yes, I can. You guys, when you ask questions like this, you got to give me price points, though, because there are some that are very, very good and very, very expensive, and then there are some that are good and more affordable, right? Of course, let's just start at, I'm not going to recommend anything that I personally wouldn't own, all right? Let's just go ahead and throw that out there. So on one of my competition ARs, I do have a Swamp Fox. They just recently came out with their own first focal plane 1 to 6, I want to say it is. I think it's called the Tomahawk. I'm sorry, Swamp Fox. I'm not on your payroll. I forgot. But Swamp Fox makes a great optic. Vortex makes a fantastic optic, and they have those that range from very affordable, like the Strike Eagles, all the way up to the Razors, which are like $3,000. So pick your poison, right? Can't go wrong there. SIG Tango 1 to 6. If you can find, I think we might have some still on our website, the military overrun contract Tango 1 to 6s. Those are freaking cool. They're awesome optics, and they did a really good job with them. Definitely a big fan of that. The SIG Tango 6. If you can't find the military contract ones, that's okay. You can find the commercially produced ones. There's not a huge difference there, except I do notice that in the military ones, the reticle gets brighter. So there's that. Night Force. Night Force is hard to beat, man. Leupold, EOTech Voodoos, those are solid optics there. And so those are ones that I would make suggestions off of there, Derek. So thank you for the super chat, and hope that answers some of your question there, all right? And Scott, you were a combat medic first. That's badass. You know, cheers to you, man. That's pretty cool. Here we go. Oh, yes. This is actually a really good question. Mike Connor, have you found a way to remove the barrel device from the HKMR 762? Yes and no. We cut it. We cut it off. We could never get the muzzle device off. It was threaded on so tight. I called up Huxworks because they have an M110A1 that they have their suppressor on. And I said, how did you guys get that muzzle device off? And they said, dude, that thing's like under 120 foot-pounds of torque. What? And on top of that, yeah, it's definitely rock set on. HK ultimately welds the muzzle device on. So I said, how did you guys get the muzzle device off? And they said, oh, we just cut it. And I'm like, I don't got time for this. Can I send you the gun? And Huxworks was like, yeah, dude, send us the gun. We'll install whatever muzzle device you want. Blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Anyway, they sent me pictures. Let me see. Let me see if I can just pull them up to show you guys, because I think it's pretty interesting, pretty fun. Crap. But ultimately, here is the muzzle device now. There it is on the HK. Perfect. You can see it's threaded. We're all good there. And here's there it is. There's the muzzle device in 2 pieces. And there it is, still on the actual barrel as they were cutting it off. So the gun is good, is safe. The threads are not nicked or anything like that. Screw you, HK. We did it. With violence. Sometimes violence is the answer, and thank you to the guys at Huxworks who helped us out on that one. All right, so I'm sure you guys are really looking forward to that feature at cfcontest.com. It'll be a good one. So anyway, thanks again to Huxworks. There we go. Donald Richardson, good to see you. Thanks for the super chat, man. I have a full-size TSOS 1911 and need some spare mags. What brand would you recommend? Wilson Combat makes excellent magazines. Chip McCormick magazines are really nice. here are my Chip McCormick Custom LLC Power. These are the 10 plus magazines that Chip McCormick has to offer. And these are really good. Super reliable. Never had any feeding issues. The only issue I've ever had on these magazines is when I've, gone to reload one of my 1911s and this empty magazine hits the deck. This little base plate pops off. Now, what's really cool is this little black piece here isn't what's actually retaining the rounds or the keeper or the follower or anything like that. So when that popped off, my magazine didn't just fall apart. I just popped it back on there and ready to rock and roll. So maybe a little bit of glue or something like that might help. I don't know. Or just retain the mag. Don't let it drop, if you're shooting at an indoor range or something like that. Outdoors, I've never had an issue with these magazines. So that's my only little gripe about these. But other than that, as far as feeding and reliability through my Colts, through what other guns have I run these through? T-Sauce also, I think I've run these mags through. These have just done really, really good. So that is that. Also, this is Alpha Omega Kydex holsters, obviously. Love those guys. They recently came out with a competition that I am trying to do. It's a social media competition. Hashtag only alphas. Alphas only. Only alphas, I think it is. And it's a more difficult drill than what I thought it was going to be. I posted it up on my own personal social media, and it's a fun thing Alpha Omega is doing just to get their name out there, and they're giving away free patches to the first 100 people that can do this. And as far as I know, I think only 5 have been able to do it so far successfully. The drill is simple. You have standard IPSC or USPA targets a yard apart. You're, edge to edge, and you are aiming alpha hits only. They're a yard apart. You're at 7 yards away. You start with a rifle, 2 shots, transition to pistol, 2 shots, and you have to be sub 3 seconds. 3 seconds exact is a fail. 2.99 is a pass. And so it's a pass or fail, nothing like that. Line breaks count. And you tag Alpha Omega Kydex holsters, AOK holsters, as Vito. I think I'm saying that right. Sorry, buddy, if I'm not. As Vito Arms. He's the one that came up with the drill with Alpha Omega. And I did it this past weekend. I tried doing it in full kit. That was a mistake. My fastest time in full kit. Again, helmet, body armor, battle belt, all that was like 5.3 seconds. Then I was like, okay, when you go back and look at my post, I just hopped right into it. Overconfident, thinking I can just do this out the gate. And I was like, all right, let me strip the gear off. Let me get back down to the fundamentals. Let's practice. And I finally got it down to 3.71. And I'm going to try to break that this week. As many tries, but you have to record yourself doing it to make sure that, it's all legit and all that type of stuff to get one of these really cool patches. Yeah, it's just a patch, but at the end of the day, it's a really fun thing. And it's also getting the community involved, social media, stuff like that. And it's also just all in good fun. So check that out. Why I went into that, talking about the holsters for the 1911 mags, which is what the super chat is about. Okay, cool. So anyway, Chip McCormick, Wilson Combat. If you guys can think of any other 1911 mags, check those out. I have had decent success with Pro Mag. Decent. But anyway, 11 Bravo Army. Good to see you guys. Let's see here. Morocco, who visits an Arab country, missing Iraq. It wasn't by choice, my guy. Anyway, continuing on here. Let's see here. No 5-9 MN Farmer over here. We did not have, Classic Firearms did not have a presence at TriggerCon this year. Maybe next year. Just been really busy. So maybe next year, but we do have a really cool thing that's happening next week, so stay tuned for that. Smart Shooters LLC. I've got my raw stick sitting right over there. I meant to have it behind me tonight, but I forgot. My bad, dude. Sup, bro? Thoughts on vetting 2A instructors' classes? Absolutely. Vet all of them. And I've said this in plenty of videos. Don't listen to somebody just because they were in the military and think that they're experts in weapons craft. It's never the case. Well, okay, I won't say never the case, but majority of the time, it's not the case. A basically trained soldier or Marine knows their way around a firearm, but a lot of them aren't combat proficient. I've never seen combat and will never claim that because I'm not a stolen valor piece of shit. I have trained for combat, but I've never actually seen it. I would like to think that I'd keep a level head and all that type of stuff and just get to good communication and tactics with my guys. But I can't speak on that experience because I've never been in that experience. I've been in stressful situations, but never combat, right? And you can't compare anything to that, right? So, when it comes to vetting 2A instructors' classes, definitely do that because anybody can say, oh, yeah, I was a vet. What'd you do? Just what? One contract, and you sat at a desk most of the time and you shot at the range and you were basically qualified. Okay. That doesn't mean you're hand-to-hand combat master. That doesn't mean that the ins and outs of room clearing and all these other types of things that could possibly get somebody killed. Not possibly, but definitely, which is another reason why I'm hesitant about being an instructor, things like that, because what are my backgrounds? I can shoot. Yes. I know my way around a firearm, which is why a lot of the instruction that I would be teaching would be a lot of fun stuff. It'd be more not gear oriented, but it'd be more familiarization, right? Pretty much making an offer to somebody that you won't be able to do at your standard range. Like, hey, have you shot in and around a vehicle before? Let's do that. That's fun, right? Let's do that without putting any more holes in your hood or anything like that. Have you shot low light, like just white light or anything like that, or anything that's a little bit more practical to you, like low light instead of night vision, which again, we'll talk about a little bit more again here in just a moment. Have you done anything as far as like drawing in a uncomfortable position? Have you thought about taking classes that actually allow you to get down on the dirt, that allow you to do transitions and reloads, things like that, right? And that would be something that I would like to, walk people through and help them with. Of course, I'm always learning myself, right? I will never stop taking classes. Even when, Classic isn't funding them or anything like that, or when they're not offered to me because I'm, a personality on YouTube, I will always seek more training. Again, one of the principles that exists out there in the military and the Marines is you know yourself and seek improvement. Improve, always. So as far as vetting these people, definitely do that. I have seen some really stupid shit on the internet from trainers or instructors, whatever, and you're like, this dude teaches people how to unsafely handle and inefficiently maneuver with firearms. And let's not sugarcoat it. Firearms have an intended purpose to kill. Yes, there's no arguing that. When people say, the only reason to own a gun is to kill somebody. Well, not necessarily, right? But at the end of the day, if somebody were to put themselves in a position where it's my life or theirs, I'm going to want to have a firearm on me because it's the best possible tool in that moment, depending on what that moment is. So, yeah, vet your instructors, vet your classes. So that's what I think about that. Thank you for the super chat. Smart Shooters LLC. Again, Rostic Arms up in here. Good to see you, my bro. And don't worry, I'll be giving you some feedback on the Rostic Premium, the RA Premium AR that I got from you. Shooting very, very well, by the way. Just to give you a little bit of a, teaser there. Anyway, let's see here. So M. Kidney is asking a pretty decent question, which is better, integrally suppressed or a silencer? And if you can find integrally suppressed, if you ask me, that typically will be better because the manufacturer of an integrally suppressed firearm are going to tune that rifle or whatever it might be to fire in a always suppressed position or always suppressed mode, right? So the reliability is better there. Now, with that being said, having the functionality to be able to remove a silencer, things like that, because you got to think now that you're traveling with this firearm, it does fall under NFA regulation. So being able to remove a silencer is a nice feature also, and then being able to throw it on your gun. And with today's modern silencer technology, Surefire, Huxworks, so many others, a removable silencer is typically just a more practical solution. And so which is better. If you can go integrally suppressed, yeah, go that route. But at the same time, if you want to be able to remove this thing, go loud, if you will, then yeah, having a silencer is a nice feature. If you want to go from gun to gun, platform to platform, maybe even different calibers, depending on the caliber of your silencer, then yeah, having a silencer for that is awesome. But if you want a dedicated suppressed gun, then if you can find it integrally suppressed, go that option. So there you go. All right. Let's get over here. Recruiters like politicians. No kidding. Good question, man. LWRC AR-15 or BCM AR-15 coming from Edie Critchad Cranium. I hope I didn't butcher that. Edie Richad? Okay, LWRC AR-15 or BCM. BCM, oh man, these are both really good guns. I think, depending on the BCM, for the ambidextrous controls and overall feel, I really like the LWRCI, especially with their monoforge design. I like that a lot. BCM, however, has an undisputed reputation for being quality, and that's hard to argue. So I would say whichever one you can find at a better price point that both offer the same types of things. You're not going to lose either way. So, but BCM, I think, probably has a better reputation for quality and affordability and stuff like that. So there you go. Anyway, continuing on over here. EOTech better than Vortex. If you're making a statement, then yeah, the EOTech's Voodoos are pretty freaking nice, can say that. And then you've got Ariel Fieldberg saying Vortex is better than EOTech. Oh God, we're getting into it now. Love my Vortex 1 to 8. Yep. Hollow Sun is better. Better than, because Hollow Sun I do like. Don't get me wrong. I got a Hollow Sun on my don't think I'll be able to show this without, like, do you see? That's my SIG P365. I don't think YouTube can pick that up. I've got a Hollow Sun 507K X2 on my 365, and that's what I everyday carry. Now, granted, I can co-witness that, so if I do lose the functionality of my red dot, battery damage, whatever it might be, I got my iron sights that are night sights backing it up, so I'm happy about that. All right. Anyway, continuing on over here. Let's see here. Arcan Optics, another good one. Just put my 1 to 8 28 34 millimeter tube. Very good. Electronic ACOG beats them all. I think you're just trolling now at this point, right? Now, granted, I love my electronic ACOG that I have on my M4A1 that's in the corner over there. But the only reason I have that is because I want the forward top-mounted RMR, which is exactly what I have. And so I'm happy about that, all right? So anyway, continuing on. Okay, talking about all the optics and all that type of stuff. Wade, is $6,000 enough for a full dual tube night vision setup like nods, helmet, IR, laser, and all that? Depending on, you'll be pushing it. Depending on the tubes also. Because you can find some affordable ones out there that don't like have any adjustment to them or anything like that. That just, it's pretty much a block with 2 tubes that are white phosphorus, and it comes down, and that's like $2,000 or $3,000. So that's cheap white phosphorus, but it's not all that great because you can't adjust it to your eyes. They're just set there. It's not great. But I mean, it is an option. And then you would have plenty enough left over for, helmet, stuff like that, depending on who you decide to go with. Oh, IR laser. Yeah, I've got, I actually changed up my Mark 18 a little bit recently. I did throw on my PEC Adipal C. That's the PEC 15 civilian model. Why we got that was we wanted to compare like a civilian versus military, full power model. There's no reason to compare because the full power model is just significantly better. It's like, just do that. But I do have the commercial model on my Mark 18 now. I took the D-Ball A3 off and actually threw that on my M4A1 because I want that full power green laser because I'll reach out to a little bit longer distances on my 14.5 M4A1 over the Mark 18. And so, that's what I wanted. And of course, under night vision with the IR illuminator and IR laser, the illuminator is adjustable, which the IR illuminator on the PEC 15 commercial model isn't. That's dumb, but whatever. So there you go. All that stuff costs money. I mean, all that. So is 6,000 enough? 6,000 you can play. I'll put it that way, I think. So there you go. I know I got a couple more super chats I think I need to get to over here that I haven't gotten to. So I need to get to you, Curtis. I see. I'll be right to you. But opinions on Canic pistols, dude. Canics are awesome. They work so damn well. We recently did like our Glock versus Canic video, and I really wanted to come into that without a bias, but my bias was definitely pro Canic over Glock. So I really wanted to come in completely like, hey, this is the first time I'm picking up these guns and I'm shooting in them. I wanted to have a comparison side by side between those, and Canic is really difficult to argue with. The only thing that I found difficult with is, funny enough, is I got going from Glock to Canic. Canic has a superior trigger. And so I would go from shooting the Glock and then hopping on the lighter, better trigger of the Canic, and then I'd, be jumping the trigger, I guess you could say. And I'd be like, oh shit, okay, well, so if Canics, my opinions on them are very favorable. Love them. In fact, one of my concealed carry, one of my pistols that I keep in rotation is my Canic Mate MC9. That typically stays actually in like my get home bag, in case I need a backup pistol. That's one that I would go for. But anyway, so Canic, great. All right, let's see here. Curtis, I said I'd get to you. Have you heard anything about the Platypus 1911 that takes Glock mags? It's a Platypus like 2011 that takes Glock magazines. I got to handle it at the NRA annual meet this past year, and it was super freaking cool. Talked with the guys. Definitely want to do something with them. And, we're just, hopefully I'll see them soon. We can talk about it. I think they're from Stealth Arms. I think it's Stealth Arms. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it is. But anyway, and I am definitely really, really eager to check that out, because the setback on a lot of 2011s are 2011 magazines they have an unfortunate reputation of not being that reliable. But Glock magazines, however, are the exact opposite. Very reliable, So yeah, I'm very eager to shoot that thing and run it. So if any of y'all know anybody over there at, that makes the Platypus, let them know that I'm really interested. All right. So there you go. Vince Metzger, Canics are great. Highly recommend them. And Rusty Shackelford, awesome too. Wife loves her Mate SFT and runs it like a champ. Canics are awesome pistols. So that should be, a couple of answers for you there too, that was asking about Canic. And what is more important, body armor or night vision? I would say probably schnitzel bottom. Probably body armor, if you had to ask me. It's more affordable, more attainable. And on top of that, it can serve multiple purposes. For instance, it can be load bearing. You can have extra gear, magazines, med kits, whatever else. Body armor, I think, would be probably more important in this case. Night vision has one application: to see in the night. So, and also if you have a good white light and you know how to effectively implement white light, you can do so and negotiate whatever your threat or target is. And I think body armor would definitely be better for you. Also, you can work out in your plate carrier, which is something that we all should be doing. Because if you can't run with your gear on, you will not survive. Just saying. I think that's something that a lot of people like to sleep on because it's not as cool, but yeah, physical fitness is definitely something that you guys need to put a priority on. And again, I always say it, I need to bad. Funk Bufferton, what is the LMT behind you? This is my LMT R20 RAHE Estonia reference rifle. It's a long name, but it's super cool. I recently just switched out the muzzle device here. It is a 14.3 barrel, so it is pinned and weld. This is a Surefire War Comp 3 prong that I put on it. I took off the actual muzzle device that it comes with because I want to suppress this thing. It is a piston-driven gun. Super cool. We have one more in the video room that you will probably be seeing soon at CF Contest. And it is a really, really solid gun. Nice, lightweight. And Estonia knows what they're doing, man. When it comes to picking this gun as their new issue. You know what I mean? So there you go. Anyway, let's see here. Going back, talking about the Only Alphas challenge. Geo saying, I believe only 5 people have gotten. Eric hasn't even gotten it yet, his own challenge yet, but I believe in y'all. Eric didn't make up the challenge. It was his Veto Arms, but Eric is obviously hosting the challenge. It's his patches, his company, Alpha Mega Kydex holsters, things like that, and he's working on it. I'm working on it. I will get it. Damn it, I will get it. I'm not gonna let this drill get me. I think the fastest time right now is like 2.5 seconds, 2.5 and some change, which is incredibly fast if you ask me. So check that out again. There you go. Let's see here. Nope, didn't miss that. Oh shit, I am sorry guys. I forgot all about Rumble. I said I wasn't going to forget about Rumble, but I did, so my bad. I'm hopping over to Rumble right now. We got a couple over here, and we're going way back, talking about seeing Taylor Swift out in public or something like that. But C-Prompt72 said he saw Sonny Bono, thought that was a much better than T Swift. Yeah, Sonny and Cher, Sonny Bono. That would probably be a little bit more cool if you ask me, especially since he died in a really tragic way, like in a skiing accident, like hit a tree or something, right? Wild. But anyway, let's see here. We've got T Lindsay 06, new to your channel, love your content. I've shot firearms, etc., wanting to get into it more. Any compact, reliable night vision optic you'd recommend? So AGM, who we recently partnered with, is doing some really cool stuff. Hollow Sun recently, I don't think it's out on the market yet, but Hollow Sun at SHOT Show this past year dropped their thermal and night vision optics that are dedicated optics that go on your gun, but they can also function as basic red dots. Again, super cool technology. We got to play with them, got to actually shoot them while at SHOT Show, and that was a lot of fun. So something that I will, definitely be checking out when that hits the market eventually. If you're looking on, we used what was called the Neath. It's a really neat optic from AGM during the bolt gun shoot for that video, and that is a really awesome optic also that allows for recording capabilities, super easy adjustments when it comes to adjusting for your reticle, and it is just, again, a QD. It uses actually an American Defense Manufacturing QD Picatinny mount, which is really nice. And so there are a couple of options for you. If you want wearable night vision, again, AGM is probably who you want to go to for that affordable, still, quality night vision though, but there are some really good brands out there. Take a look at Tactical Night Vision Co., TNVC. They put out great content for night vision. They have great gear and stuff like that, and a lot of learning opportunities when it comes to night vision too. Maybe we can partner with them one day. I'd love to, and talk about some of that stuff. But anyway, NTN5, give Rumble some love after the brand drama. Yep. My bad, guys. I know I said I wouldn't forget, but I'm over here, all right? But and CPrompt72, yeah, are you taking questions from Rumble or YouTube? I'm taking them from all of them, Twitch, Facebook, all of it, all of you guys that are here. So, professional, did you change your name? It was Professor, it's not Professional, that's what it was. Professor Blake Poo Ass Blaster 3000. Thanks for the super chat over at Rumble, man. Thank you. And for quite a few of you that are still watching on Rumble, even though I neglected you for a little bit, I'm sorry. Cannot wait for my LWRCA 5 and 6 Spear LT and 762x39. Solid choices. LWRC, again, they've got probably some of the best ambidextrous controls on firearms out there, or on AR-15s. And again, that mono-forge design. If you're not familiar with LWRCI's mono-forging, ultimately imagine the upper receiver, and right where the barrel connects to the upper receiver, it's reinforced, and the upper receiver actually kind of encases the barrel. And by doing so, it's handling all of those pressures. That is ultimately where the most violent thing is taking place when pulling the trigger on your AR. And so what LWRCI has done is ultimately reinforced that area with this mono forging process, but still allows you to put on, a proprietary rail. But if you wanted to switch that rail out, you could go to M-Lock or whatever you want. I mean, comes with M-Lock. So it's a sweet design. They did a great job with it. So glad to hear that you'll be getting that soon. Also with your Spear LT and 76239. You're going to be happy with that. Let's see here. We've got Cadet McCusker. Hey, client. I'm wrong-handed incorrectly. I'm looking at a Stag Arms AR-15 and it is left-hand ejection. would love to hear your opinion. Having shot those, solid. Stag pretty much led the way when it comes to their left-hand extraction or their left-handed ARs, and you will not be upset about that. Stag makes some great guns. That's actually what one of my competition ARs is their Stag competition, and Stag 15, 10 out of 10 would recommend. You've got a good idea there. So there you go. And also going back to Sous, Moroccan culture can be very hospitable. It was awesome. Absolutely loved it. All right. Tanner, you must follow Alec on Instagram. He has time to go to Germany, but not classic. I know. Tell me about it. He didn't even tell us he was going to. I just saw him post, and I was like, really, dude? That's pretty cool. So, pretty neat time. Anyway, do I like the Canik Rival? Yes, I do. But I actually own the Canik Rival S, which is their metal model. Very, very awesome gun to shoot. Thank you, Karaoke Canary. Keep up the great job, Clint. Appreciate that. Thank you. All right. Let's get through here. Let's see here. We've got Joker 510 714. Thoughts on the mag ban overturn. Hope she stays. Man. It's just Judge Benitez again, right? Judge Benitez rules. So we can continue using and acquire more mags here in Cali. Love watching the videos channel puts out. Thank you, Joker. Appreciate that. And hope it stays also. Magazine capacity bans, they're ridiculous. They're absolutely ludicrous. They're stupid. And they make no damn sense. All it is another gun grab. It's another way to prevent you from exercising your Second Amendment right, or at least not exercising it as fully as other states. So with that, hopefully this mag ban overturn does stay as well. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it, Joker. And let's get on over here. Work that trigger finger, my guy. That's yeah. Let me see. Any legit? I think we were talking a little bit, going back to some of the instructors and trainers and things like that. Cheyenne Ramos is saying, any legit professional will always tell people, or the students always continue seeking training. No one instructor can teach one person everything about combat. Yeah, absolutely. Or, weapons manipulations, gear, things like that. I have been very fortunate, thanks to my job, to get training from Tonto, one of the CIA guys, or one of the Annex security guys, GRS guys from Benghazi. Solid dude. Was on his podcast too. If you guys haven't followed Chris Tonto Peranto, real Chris Tonto Peranto on Instagram, go do that. Just an amazing guy. So I've been able to take a course from him. Been able to take one of his lead instructors, Michael Billings. Fantastic guy. We got to learn a lot of stuff there out at Fort Scott Munitions. I've been able to take a course by Clint Smith out at Thunder Ranch, legend, and also Kyle Lamb, Delta Force operator that was present during Operation Gothic Serpent, which is, of course, Black Hawk Down. Again, these guys have all been in the shit, like legitimately taken and returned fire and have unalived quite a few people. And so, and in some cases even taken fire and injured themselves, like Clint Smith, who took an AK round to the back, nasty wound. And you take all these different experiences, every last one of them had a little different take on something else, but you start combining all these different learnings to really actually build yourself up. And that's what I kind of want to do, is ultimately take what I know works for me. And then what you guys get to see on the channel is me, if I ever started hosting classes, things like that, you're actually getting a lot of that on the channel, because I'm taking a lot of what I'm learning from these different guys, different courses that I've been in and stuff like that. And different instructors that I've just been able to shoot with, and taking what works from me and then relaying that on video, So it's kind of like, I don't know if it would make sense to actually, put out a course or something like that, and or host a course that people would pay to come and shoot with. It's kind of like, well, you already saw it on the channel, but I've said it before. It's a little bit different taking these courses and shooting with these guys in person. You know what I mean? And mine would be fun. It would be more basic, simple stuff like, hey, let's run a couple of drills together. Let's get into a couple of team tactics and things like that. Because I'm not going to speak a lot to, those to combat, to taking fire, stuff like that, because like I've said already once in this live stream, that's not me. I haven't been through that, right? But I can tell you that if you can implement stress any way you possibly can, do that. Get your heart rate up, incorporate kettlebells, weights, cardio, stuff like that. That's why I like to train and shoot with full gear on, because you realize how quickly you fatigue. And then you think about Tonto, who is in, pretty much full gear for 13 hours running this stuff. You think about, Clint Smith, who was running around in freaking Vietnam, right? Think about Kyle Lamb, again, who was at Black Hawk Down doing this overnight stuff. And again, in full gear in a combat zone. So, again, vet your instructors like Smart Solutions LLC was talking about, and then continue seeking training. Don't just stick with one instructor, because you'll learn something, no doubt, but you want to broaden your horizons, you know what I mean? So go out there, seek all sorts of different training and stuff. So there you go. But anyway, Keith, my man, appreciate you, bro. I'm reading this obviously a little late because now we're an hour 20 in. So I'll get up to some of the chats. All right. Anyway, let's see here. We've got another super chat. A couple of them coming in over here, and one of them is from Jerry Brooks. Jerry, thanks for that. Appreciate you a lot, sir. And thinking about a 2011 build series. Why do you think I want to talk to the guys that built the platypus so bad? Anyway, so yeah, again, stay tuned. We have a lot of ideas for different series, things like that, that'll be coming up. So stay tuned. All right. Joker, again, good to see you, man. 510714. Thank you again for another super chat. Wednesday, picking up my 8.5 inch 300 blackout AR pistol. Perfect barrel length, 8.5, 9 inches for 300 blackout. Solid. You're going to suppress it, right? Because you should definitely suppress it. So good choice there, Joker. Who'd you decide to go with? Manufacturer, stuff like that. Just curious, you know what I mean? So there you go. Anyway, continuing on over here. Going through. Everybody just wants the new best thing. Yeah, yes and no. It depends. So. Also, if it's the best thing, then yeah, I'll probably want that. If it is the best thing, right? Talking about, big pap Q. All right, there you go. Robert Combs uses his Rival SFX as his everyday carry. Very cool. Coming back on over here to Rumble. Cody Blees, good to see you again, man. Have you tested Guard Dog Shield? Not yet. It's coming though, so stay tuned. All right, but there you go. And I saw another question that came through here. Oh man, this is when I need to get Matt back on the channel. Clint, can you let me know what should be my first AK? A lot of AK guys have opinions on this one, right? I always talk about Zastava, whatever you want to say, because that was my first AK. And I think they've only gotten better as they've aged as a company and as they've grown. And I like their products. It's solid stuff. I've also got a Meridian Defense AK that's actually sitting. I think you guys can see that. It's sitting right here. This is my MDC Meridian Defense Pestilence. I featured that on the channel before. I really, really like that gun. But that's an expensive brand too, expensive manufacturer. So if you're not looking to spend $2,000 on an AK, probably not what you would want for your first one, but it would be legitimately a great AK. So there you go. There are a lot of different companies out there, though, that are making some good ones. If you can find yourself some Segas, you can find yourself, if you can find yourself like an Arsenal, those are pretty good. So there you go. And yeah, I will say Zastava. So there you go. But there's a lot of them out there that you can choose from. And, I think this will be, nothing wrong with Arsenal. Arsenal Sam 7, nothing wrong with that at all. And let's see here. And you guys, let us know too what you guys think also. And Go Fast Nation won't be wrong in saying Zastava. I own one and love it. Never had an issue, right? Yeah, so there you go. I still have, like I said, I have the first AK I ever bought, but not my first AR I ever bought. So there you go. All right. Continuing on over here. Topper Harley. Nice. Is there even a 50 BMG rated red dot? Am I crazy for using a red dot with magnified with a 16.5-inch 50 BMG. It's 16 pounds and hits like a sledgehammer. What is happening? That is amazing. I love it. I have shot EOTech with a 50 BMG, and it's still kicking. So you could go with an EOTech holographic. I honestly would think that aim point, like the T2, like I have on none of the guns behind me, but I can't remember which gun my T2 is on at the moment. But anyway, it is on the gun behind me. It's on the Estonia LMT rifle. There it is. I feel like the T2 would hold up to 50 BMG recoil. I'm just saying, so there you go. All right. But anyway, yeah, again, Arsenal, another good option there, but over Arsenal, IDK, there you go. Coming on down here to get to a couple more to you guys, of course. And Jay Blessor, hey, Clint, Marine vet here, 2111, 2161, 10 years. Just want to say love your guys' content. Appreciate that, man. Simplify to you. Cheers. Cilantro, brother. Other good milled receivers. Milled receivers are great also. Again, Arsenal has to offer a couple of those. Meridian Defense with their Volk. That's a milled receiver from Sharps Bros. That thing is spicy. Really awesome. But anyway. Okay, cool. Thank you, Cheyenne Ramos, for confirming that. Stealth Arms does make the Platypus 2011 that takes Glock mags, which is pretty cool. So there you go. Let's see here. Let me scroll back down to get to a couple of the... Wait, I just saw something about Robin Williams as I was scrolling. Crap. Am I going to find that again? I don't know. But Robin Williams being one of my favorites, you know what I mean? I mean, I grew up with Robin Williams. Aladdin, he's a genie, stuff like that. But anyway, let's see here. What was Iraq veterans' recent video? I don't know. Let me pull it up and let's just see what the title is. Iraq veteran 8888 recent video. Gun gripes. Do trans people have 2A rights? Oh, well, interesting take. So I would like to talk with, I would like to watch the video, and see what Eric says. But initially, the way I look at it, it gets a little complicated, right? Because at the same time, I do believe the Second Amendment, just like all constitutional rights, should be equally applied, just for that principle. But at the same time, I do believe that trans people, that's a mental health issue. So by that logic, and also by the laws that are currently in place, mental health is something that a lot of people are kind of concerned about when it comes to firearm ownership, right? So where does that end, though? Because now let's say somebody is depressed. Okay, let's say they're seeking help, and now all of a sudden, and I think this is why a lot of gun owners don't seek help for mental health issues. And this is something I can speak personally on. And because they're afraid to say, I'm in a really bad headspace, I might hurt myself. And next thing you know, they have to lose their firearms, right? So a lot of firearms owners, a lot of veterans are afraid to speak up in that sense, right? And I don't believe that just because somebody is in a negative headspace means that they should lose their right to self-defense, because somebody can be depressed but not suicidal. Somebody can be thinking that they don't deserve to live anymore. And this might, I don't know if I should say this. There's, I believe that most of us here are probably into the dark humor and stuff like that, especially our veterans that watch and whatnot. But I have said, just out of principle, I would never use a firearm. You know what I mean? But again, not saying I'm in that headspace or anything like that, but I'm just saying, there's several ways of going out. Not one that I would ever plan on. Just saying that. So there you go. And also I see Ricardo also saying, take a drink, Clint. It's been over an hour. Cheers. So it is actually it's a thought-provoking topic. So dark humor is beautiful. Oh, sorry. Thank you, Gio. I absolutely agree. Classic firearm magazines are great. Are we going to see a classic firearm edition pistol or rifle in the future? Possibly. But I did want to see what anybody else might have to say about this. So about trans rights when it comes to firearm ownership, because I do believe that this is something that is a topic to be discussed. And I will be interested to watch Eric's video. Alex is saying remove veterans' rights to arms since they unlife themselves more than anyone else. I don't think that's actually true, because talking about trans people and the percentage of trans individuals that actually commit suicide and take their lives, I do believe actually outweighs veterans' suicide. So, there's that. But anyway, as far as actually giving you facts on that, percentages, information, CDC, whatever, or even FBI statistics on that, I can't provide that to you right now. So take that with a grain of salt. But I am fairly certain that the percentages on trans suicide is actually higher than veteran suicide. But anyway, again, percentages, because obviously there's more veterans than there are trans individuals in this country. I guess at this point, I don't know. But I will say that. So again, let me know what you guys think down in the chat. All right. And Jet, yes, I am taking questions. All right. So there you go. I will say that Rusty Shackelford, that the 22 vets a day is actually not a realistic number. It is closer to 40 to 45 veterans a day. 22 is the number that's been associated because of how they file their reporting and things like that. But that number is actually much higher. So again, I know that probably kind of goes against what I just said, but we're talking percentages. But yes, it's closer to anywhere between 22 to actually 50 veterans a day do take their lives. So, yeah, there you go. To talk about that. Again, that is something that hits close to home. The honor band that I wear here is from one of my friends that committed suicide. I've got this tattoo on me that is all about not even raising veteran suicide awareness. We're all aware of it. But it's ultimately a banner for anybody that might be going through something, especially another veteran that might need a talk. And if you see the semicolon IGY6 project tattoo, that you're going to be talking to somebody that is not judgmental, that may have been in a spot that you're in at one point in time, and is open to communication and open to a dialogue that will hopefully be comfortable for you. So don't be afraid to ask for help, everybody that's out there. Also, just to go ahead, I think I might start off almost every live stream going forward by letting you guys know, if you or anybody needs help, dial 988. 988 is your hotline to get help. All right. So there you go. Something a little bit easier to do other than dialing a long number. You know what I mean? So there you go. All right, cool. And Mike Riley also says any government statistics have been manipulated and unusable now any days. Yeah. I mean, the guy that ran over that former police chief in Las Vegas, I think it was, or the guy that was recording, obviously Hispanic. They put his, they put him down as white for some reason. Again, this was something I think I saw from Mr. I don't want to quote, something I saw on social media. So again, take that with a grain of salt, but it's like, why, even if this is real, if this is truly real, why is this happening? Why are they trying to skew these demographics? It's very interesting things that are taking place. All right. So there you go. Lord Jarek, vets, the animal doctors, have high rates as well. I could probably see that. My one of my aunts, she actually runs a shelter and takes in a lot of dogs, like dozens of dogs, and she actually suffers from PTSD because she's seen what type of abuse a lot of these dogs go through, and she, like me, is a dog lover, huge animal lover. Personally, I do love animals. I love saving them. I love petting them. I also love eating them. So there is that, you know what I mean? But I prefer to eat an animal that's actually been humanely hunted, other than, kept in a farm in captivity all of its life and then slaughtered in some inhumane way, probably. So there's that. But anyway, and my aunt actually suffers from, post-traumatic stress, because she has seen a majority of her life what type of evil humans are capable of on animals. Granted, we've seen human on human evil all the time. I mean, I was just talking about these kids that ran over this guy riding his bicycle because it seemed fun to them. Are you fucking kidding me? This is the society we're growing up in now. Like, how do you prepare for that situation? You can't. It's just all of a sudden somebody decides you look like a great target, so I'm just going to run over you. They didn't use a gun for that. They used a car, which is actually going to be, vehicles at the end of the day are used in more homicides every year than firearms are. So there you go. But anyway, continuing on over here, let's get to some of the more recent comments here. Rusty Shackelford: I have PTSD from being a firefighter EMT. We all have issues, man. Big facts, I used to be the kind of guy that made fun of, I didn't make fun of it, but I would never go to like therapy or anything like that. And now I will tell you right now, without a fact, everybody needs therapy. Go to therapy, find yourself a good therapist. It might take a long time, but go to therapy and find one that works for you, and hope you get somebody like Robin Williams' character, who I've already mentioned before, in Good Will Hunting, and pray to God, So there you go. Continuing on over here. This is not the Oprah show. Let's talk guns. You're right. This is not the Oprah show. This is Clint Morgan's live stream at Classic Firearms. And quite frankly, I'll talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about. But thanks, Kev. Appreciate the input. Injan taking Colombian bribes. What did I miss? Oh, Lord. I don't know. But anyway, also be careful with what some of you guys are putting in the chat. I would like the live stream to continue going on. All right. So just going to throw that out there. All right. Because sometimes I click on something to be shown without reading it, just because I just want to get to what you guys have to say. So I'll make sure I proof everything going forward. Thank you very much. Like this one's a good one. Gun lives matter. There we go. All right. And you can talk to Black Guns Matter. That's another good one there. So how about it? Oh man. And possible. Yeah, Keith, absolutely. Thank you again. Appreciate all of you guys still sticking around and viewing too. It's great. All right, so this is a getting back to some of the gun talk here. Mark Booth is asking, how many AR mags should I have per rifle? Well, a combat loadout is 9 mags. So per rifle, look, man, just don't get into the numbers about it. Just buy a shit ton of them. Magazines at this point in time are still affordable, thank God. You can get a decent PMag for under $20, once a month. Just buy one. Just $20 a month. And that's on the high end, right? I think like these window mags are like $15, $17, something like that, once a month for a year. Now you got 12 magazines, and that's only hoping that there's not a federal magazine ban of 30 rounds or something like that. So if you can just go out and just buy a couple of mags, I mean, the aluminum GI mags, they're everywhere. You can buy those things for like $5, and they run. I have a few of them, like the SureFeed magazines. Get those things, right? Because they're cheap and they run. They're made here in the U.S. Can't go wrong with them. And the only thing you want to make sure that you're doing is just making sure that the spring in here, the spring and followers are good, and also if you can get anti-tilt. Anti-tilt's a way to go. Just for reliability's sake. Not saying you have to have that, but I would recommend anti-tilt. So, but yeah, magazines, stock up on them now while they're affordable and while they're available, because they may not always be. So you've got politicians in office right now that are trying to say, if you ban high capacity magazines, Well, they'll be extinct. No more they'll cease to exist because every time you use one, that is no more. It dies. So a lot of politicians think these aren't reusable. And these are the people that are your representatives, not your leaders, your representatives that keep being voted in by people, if you trust the voting process, that keep getting voted in by people that believe them when they say these things. Who was the guy that was talking about arm braces turning your gun into a bump stock, which pretty much turns it into a machine gun? How many wrong things can you say in one sentence? Jesus Christ. You guys are getting me pissed off now, right? So, sorry, don't mean to take the Lord's name in vain, but he's listening and he probably thinks it's ridiculous too, okay? So continuing on, I see we've got a couple of super chats coming in over here. Sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent over here. Joker, good to see you again. Thank you, man, for another super chat. Sadly, I'm in Cali. Yep, used to be on Pistol Registry, Franklin Armory, build by local FFL, CA 11 lower, belt carrier group, and Aero Precision semi-upper, Geisley flat trigger. Nice. Using my Trijicon ACOG 1.5 by 16S sight. Solid setup. Sounds great to me. I wouldn't be mad about that at all. And, just keep it up. Keep it up. Again, invest in these, everybody. Do what you can. And, for those of you that live in these states that are a little bit less free, and you have like magazine ban, high cap magazine ban, capacity bans, whatever you want to call them, they're all ridiculous. They're all stupid. A lot of FFLs, and we, I think we still send guns that come with 30 round mags or how many ever round mags out to an FFL that agrees to pin the magazine. So that way it can only feed 10 rounds or load 10 rounds or something like that, right? Granted, we want to keep our business, so, we're going to follow the law. But at the end of it all, talk to your FFL too about whoever you're getting your gun shipped to. Like, hey, this gun comes with a 30 round mag or whatever. Will you pin it to whatever my state's legal capacity is? And if they say yes, then cool. All right, put that as a note and we'll send it. But anyway, and look, I'm not saying break the law or anything, but just pay attention to how they have the magazines pinned. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Can't be too difficult. But anyway, so continuing on over here, Derek, unfortunately, I don't have any experience with BG defense rifles, but I am hoping that changes very, very soon. But thank you for the super chat. Darkheart, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. And Super Swag 1111 just picked up a shoulder thing that goes up from Black Market. I'm just kidding. Again, I'll pray for you. Good night. I'll pray for you. Well, thank you. Appreciate that, Super Swag. And for those of you that don't know the joke, it's that one politician that was talking about a barrel shroud, and that's the shoulder thing that goes up. My only response to that is, bitch, what? Like, the hell are you talking about? Few guns have a shoulder thing that goes up, and they're usually machine guns, which are already way too heavily regulated. Think about the M14, think about the BAR, think about even, I think, the 249. The paratrooper model has a shoulder thing that goes up, you know what I mean? And ultimately what that is to help brace for the recoil. It's not actually a really comfortable thing, but you're supposed to be laying down suppressing fire, so you want to make sure that you're actually horizontal and placing accurate fire. That's the shoulder thing that comes up. It's to help with the recoil device. And a barrel shroud, I'm still trying to figure that one out. I guess you can say like on some of the semi-auto shotguns that are out there, they have a sleeve that goes over the barrel for heat mitigation and for looks most of the time. I mean, that's, if you ask me, it sounds like a barrel shroud, right? But trying to make sense of what anything a politician says that's ignorant on firearms, you're going to give yourself an aneurysm. But anyway, continuing on over here. Let me get back over to Rumble, see if I've missed anything on over here, because I don't want to forget you guys. I love you guys. Thank you, Rumble, so much for being here. And let's see here. Good AK mags. Oh, man. Well, again, Magpul makes some good AK mags. I really actually like the US Palm mags. Those mags are solid. They do they run really, really well. And they have a nice tight lockup in a lot of different AKs also, which is pretty sweet. So the US Palm Mags, 10 out of 10 would recommend. I know I got like one of the banana mags laying around, that had the cool little sticker that comes with it and everything. But anyway, so those ones are good to take a look at. If you like the metal magazines, there's a lot of those out there. Like the Czech mags are pretty nice. Check those out also. All right. But anyway, let's go on. Let me see here really quick. Also, I can hide that comment, get back over to Rumble so we can, so you're not distracted or anything. But anyway, so let's see here. NTN 5, give Rumble some love. There we go. Giving it. We've got Viscus. Hey Clint, Sig 716i, PSA Saber, Ruger SFAR, POF Revolution for a 308. I'm really interested in the PSA Saber. I don't know much about it yet, about how well it's going to perform, but I love an M110. Just, my AR-10 build is kind of like, I try to make it look kind of like an M110, but it's an arrow build. The SIG 716i, you've got the reliability and the basics that you would want out of a AR-10. POF Revolution, very cool gun. That would be one that probably a little bit higher up on the list. And then the Ruger, I'd probably go SIG 716, POF Revolution, Ruger, and then the Saber. I'm only putting the Saber last though because I've seen some issues, right? Again, coming from my buddy Brandon, Texas Planking. So it's like, we'll see. Maybe after they get the kinks worked out, it'll be a little bit better. We'll see. But anyway, and that's Cadet McCusker. That's my thoughts on it right there. I haven't had any time on it though. So technically they are a competitor. So my, trigger time on that might be through a buddy or something like that. You know what I mean? But, maybe one day. So we'll see. But there you go. Wanted to get over to Rumble, get over there and talk with you guys. And of course, there's no other breaks. Tapco. Yeah, I see some Tapco stuff out there. Not bad. It's fine. Thanks for serving. Thank you, Gibby Ace. Appreciate that. Surplus AK mags, Stephen McAllister, are the best. If you like to be flashy, Bakelite mags are the GOAT. Oh, yeah, dude. I've got Bakelite mags. I've got like 2 or 3, and, dude, they're cool. And, I don't show them off all that much because, they got a serious cool factor to them. Bakelite mags are definitely awesome, super reliable. And but surplus AK mags, if you can find them, that's where it's at too. So I definitely agree with this statement here from Steven. But if you want something a little bit more modern, like the P mags, they run great. They also, a lot of the new P mags, AK mags, have the metal tab instead of a plastic tab. The polymer tabs, they work fine and everything, but they're going to wear down over a period of time because it's literally plastic on metal for an AK locking mechanism. So as you can imagine, that's going to wear down and not work after God knows how long. But at least I assume. I don't know how long that'll take though. So there you go. But anyway, let's see here. Juan Aerosolis is talking. Let's see. Go Fast Nation. What did Juan ask? I'm looking for Juan. I'm not seeing Juan, so I'm sorry, Juan, for whatever your question might be. Oh, it's a super chat that I missed. My bad, Juan. Let's get on over to you really quick. Juan, Avelis. That's what it is, right? I want to buy a long-range rifle. What do you recommend with a $2,000 budget? I'm going to agree. The Aero Precision Soulless rifle has blown my mind in this Bolt Series competition. The price, the performance. Yeah. Now, the problem with this is your $2,000 budget including an optic? Because if that's the case, then I would probably shop for a little bit more affordable bolt gun. They do exist with still great performance and reliability, and then look at investing in some glass. So, it really comes down to $2,000 budget. Is that just for the rifle, or is that for your whole kit when it comes to your long range setup? Because that's going to determine my answer, right? But let's say that does. I will say this. The Bergara HMR Pro, I would have to look at how much that one is. The Pro does have the stainless fluted barrel. That's the one that I've got because I really love the B14 action of the Bergara that I've been running. That thing has been solid. Love the action of that gun. Love how it runs, feeds, and everything else. I've had zero issues with the reliability of the firearm. The only issues I've had, of course, are my shot placement after running several rounds through it. And I do believe, this is me personally, I need to talk with Bergara about this, about that carbon fiber barrel just possibly heating up. I don't know. I've never shot a 308 carbon fiber barrel. I've only shot 5.56. So I haven't shot a bigger caliber carbon barrel, carbon fiber wrapped. So I don't know. But anyway, I do like Bergara a lot as a company. I love the ergonomics of their firearms and also, again, the reliability. Just probably wouldn't go with the carbon barrels, personally, after my experience. Granted, it could all just be me, but every time I ran the Arrow or the U.S. Arms, I was on the money. So yeah. Anyway, again, it might just be me and the collaboration with the optic and the gun and me trying to always chase the bullet when I shouldn't have done that. So anyway, okay. Continuing on here, Go Fast Nation. Any recommendations for AR-10 6.5 Creedmoor barrel, 1,000 yards? Does Criterion make a 6.5 Creedmoor AR-10 barrel? Because if they do, I'd probably look at that. Those are really good barrels, and I would not be upset with that option, if you know what I mean. All right, so there you go. Christensen makes a dope 308 in carbon. Yes, they do. They've got their modular hunting rifle, MHR, I think it is what it's called, which is pretty cool. So there you go. Jay Ryder, hey Clint, are you going to build an AR-10 soon? If so, were you thinking about specs and accessory wise? Actually, the first AR I ever built was an AR-10, and I was about to grab it to show you, but because it is sitting right here, and of course, if I handle a firearm, YouTube will stop the live stream, so I can't do that. But I can tell you with what I went with, and I featured it on the channel before, actually. So if I were to try and pull up, let me just go to Classic Firearms YouTube, and let me see if I can pull up Classic Firearms. Let's try AR-10 build, and let's see if anything comes up, because if I can show you guys my build, it'll be a little bit easier to have. Yeah, actually, there's literally it's in the thumbnail. So how I built my first AR 2 years ago, how I built my first, I forgot we even did this video. So there you go. Here, I can actually go ahead and just show my screen with you guys really quick, and show you what I've got here. Share that. And if I click on this here, boom, let's see if I can get to, there it is, and pause, go full screen so you guys can see that, and I will hide the comment here. So there it is. So that's my AR-10 build. That is very similar to what you see here, and yes, I did this intentionally. If you notice, if you look right here, I have this optic bridged, and some of you might be wondering, like, what the hell does that mean? I've actually got this mount on the upper receiver and this mount on the rail. Why did I do that? I wanted to see if I actually could get a shift after beating it up a little bit and things like that. It was kind of an experiment on my own, which I didn't really announce in this video, so that left it open to a little bit of criticism down in the comment section, but, you know, whatever, who cares? Everybody's going to have something to talk about. But ultimately, I didn't do it for that long, and I shot it, and the way that rail locks up to the upper receiver is actually pretty tightly, so I wasn't too worried about it, especially for the little bit of shooting that I was going to be doing. I have since changed that. The optic that I have on there now is actually a Trijicon Accutac, which is 2.5 to 12.5 by 42. This one is not battery operated, but it does have a illuminated reticle thanks to the tritium and fiber optic that they have at the top of the optic. And I love that setup. So starting at the muzzle on this, I'm just going to do a quick run through. I do have a Yankee Hill machine. I can show the silencer, I think. Let's see. Take that off of there. So this is the silencer. This is a titanium 30 cal silencer from Yankee Hill machine. This is actually the first silencer that I ever bought. The TI Phantom 30. The TI 3 is what this one is, and it's done really, really well for me. Lightweight, works great. I do have a 3-chamber brake on it, and that's what is the QD muzzle device, again, from Yankee Hill. Ballistic Advantage 18-inch floated barrel. If you come back a little bit further, you're going to notice I've got an adjustable gas block here. Nothing fancy. Picked it up off of one of the shelves at the warehouse, so it's probably some sort of made in China gas block. But hey, it works. I haven't had any issues with it. I've literally just been running the crap out of it to see how long it'll take for me to destroy this gas block, and I haven't had any issues. So there you go. By the way, the Ballistic Advantage barrel is great, but these barrels do not come dimpled. So I had to dimple that barrel on my own, and that is where the set screw, when attaching the gas block, locks into place. So I had to do that on my own. A little intimidating, but it's not that big of a deal once you do it a couple of times. It is ultimately an Aero Precision matched upper and lower receiver. So that is a matched set. I wanted to go with a matched set and not buy an upper and a lower at different times or from different manufacturers for this build. I just wanted it to know that these were made together and are going to fit together well. And that's what I went with. I also switched out the rail. This is the Aero Precision Atlas S1 rail. The rail I have now is actually Picatinny straight up top. It doesn't have that dip that you see right here for like larger optics, because I don't have a larger optic on it. And I like the idea of having that full length Picatinny rail there. Not because I'm throwing stuff on it. If I do choose to throw night vision to clip on or anything, I have that capability now. But I also just really like the looks better. So that's why I decided to go with that. I think it's the R1 rail that Aero Precision has to offer. So I did go with an Aero rail, Aero upper, Aero lower, just to make sure everything matched and fit well. And it just looks good and clean. The trigger on it is a Geisley 2-stage trigger, one of their precision triggers. The magazine is not inserted backwards, as some people have commented. That is actually a Lancer magazine. That's just how they sit. They're just straight, and it just looks kind of funny. You'll also notice the wood furniture. I'm sure some of you are probably commenting about that right now. That is Sharps Brothers wood furniture. I just wanted to make this gun look pretty. You know what I mean? So I decided to go with that. And as far as the stock goes, that's just a basic Magpul rifle stock. It is a rifle length buffer system, and it shoots. This is one of the softest shooting AR-10s. I'm proud that I built this. I got the gas set right where I want it to work very well with the rifle length buffer system. And I cannot remember. I think I've got a H buffer in it. This thing shoots so freaking soft. It's incredible, and I love it. And so that's my build there. And it's awesome, you know. Gas tube, just a basic stainless gas tube. The bolt carrier group is just a regular black phosphate. I think it's black. All right, let's see. Yeah. Just a black Aero Precision bolt carrier group also. So there you go. So nothing really all that fancy there, but, you know, ran through it. And yeah, that was the first AR I ever built, you know, or assembled, for those of you that want to argue what building is. So anyway, that is that. And hopefully I, you know, got, you know, answered your question with all these different accessories and everything that I like. So continuing on over here, we've got a couple more of the super chats coming in. Jared Kroll, been watching you for a long time. Absolutely love the videos. Thank you, Jared. Appreciate that, man. Bought my Zion 15 based on your recommendation and value. Keep up the great work. Well, as long as you are loving that Zion 15, I'm happy, because personally I think it's a great option. So congratulations on the build, and that also makes me really happy. My buddy Tony in the super chat over here. What's up, dude? Clint, I've seen you out there with the R3. Is weight the main factor difference between that and the quad? I have the M4A1 R3. I haven't shot it yet though. Tony, good to see you, man. Make sure you guys are following Tony D2 Wild. He's got a Tony 2 Wild Guns out there. So on Instagram, doing some gun stuff now. Good to see you, bro. Thanks for tuning in, man. And the M4A1 R3 is awesome. And the main difference between the R3 and the Riz 2 is the weight difference isn't that much. I think the R3 is a little bit lighter, but it's M-LOK. So, you don't have as much metal as you do with like a Picatinny rail. So because it's M-LOK, it's naturally going to be a little bit lighter. Great. Is it as strong as Picatinny? I don't think so. Picatinny it's stronger than M-LOK. That's all there is to say about it. However, it still has that super secure lockup system, and also they have added a lot of reinforcement to that rail. It's a quality rail, the R3 rail is, or Riz 3 or whatever you guys want to call it. And I love my M4A1 R3. That's this one sitting behind me over here. That's that guy that you guys see. This thing is awesome. What I love that they've done with the M4A1 R3s also is that they've actually made it's still a 14.5-inch barrel, but it is a mid-length gas system, not a carbine length gas system. So right off the bat, it's a softer shooting gun than the standard M4A1 that Daniel Defense has to offer. And ambidextrous controls, of course, and the M-LOK rail. It's just it's a damn good gun. So I'm really happy about it. But anyway, thanks, Tony, man. Thanks again for tuning in. Good to see you, bro. Ricardo, Logan, super weird Clint. That's me. Super weird question, and I appreciate you humoring this. When will the 50 cals Barretts be back in stock again? Just got to handle some squirrels in the backyard. I don't know, man. Barretts have been hard to come by recently, and it's kind of blowing my mind. Like, I'm just going to say it. They're probably all going to damn Ukraine. I mean, so I have no idea. I don't know when they'll be back in stock, but they're just not as available as they used to be right at the moment. We used to have literally a warehouse full of them, and now we've got like 2. So, and you're probably wondering like, oh, why aren't they on the website? Because I'd rather not sell them. I'd rather feature them at cfcontest.com. You're welcome. Anyway, continuing on, Darkheart, thank you so much for the super chat. Darkheart again, thank you. Hey, Clint, quick question for you. I received a stock Diamondback 300 Blackout as a gift and would like to add a suppressor to it. Is this good system for one? Okay. What do I need to change to run it? Okay, so if you got a Diamondback 300 Blackout, I actually had a Diamondback AR pistol, and I took the barrel out and made it 300 Blackout and ran it. I didn't change anything. I actually ran it with this suppressor, and it ran great. The only thing is, and awesome too. Congratulations, you received that as a gift. That's really freaking cool. So, again, congratulations. And but with that, what's the barrel length? I don't think you're gonna have any issues whatsoever. Just throw a silencer on it, QD, and run that thing, And again, I need to know the barrel length and how you might have it set up. Does it have an adjustable gas block? I mean, I don't know, what buffer do you have in it, buffer weight? Because all these things can contribute to a reliable soft shooting gun or a gun that just doesn't run reliably or run at all even. So, those are the things you got to look for. But yes, you can just throw a can on it, shoot it, and it'll probably run. It might be too gassy. It might be over-gassed, which is going to cause expedited wear and tear on the firearm. So if you put a little bit heavier buffer, that's going to be more resistance being met on the buffer system, on the gas system, and the bolt carrier coming back into the gun. So that should help a little bit with that. So there's an option for you. All right, cool. Anyway, let's see here. We've been live for just over 2 hours now, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping that up over here. I know this one's been a little bit not as exciting as some of my previous ones, but that's okay. I'm still here with you guys, talking with y'all, taking it easy. Not getting too mad, because of all the there's a lot of things to be mad at about there, and sometimes you just gotta just take a sip and just take a seat back. You know what I mean? So there you go. Anyway. Let's go over here. Okay, Tanner, I see you again, man. And I see you and Rusty are having a little bit of a conversation. Terry Hesticles is saying Ukraine 100%. Yeah, it's probably where they're going. Let's see. Meanwhile, Ronnie pulled support from LAPD. He should pull support from the feds too. The Marines love the Barrett M82. All right, so maybe federal agencies military. Let's keep. Why did I even think about? I was thinking about like federal government. That's where my mind went. But yeah, so in that case, leave it at that. So anyway, all right, let's go ahead again. Let's go ahead and start wrapping this up. And why is your name Clint? Because my parents liked Clint Eastwood. You know what I mean? So there you go. All right, here. But thank you guys again, all of y'all, for tuning in. And I see you trying to get me riled up over here. Not falling into it because I want to go grab something to eat and leave it at that. All right. So anyway, it's all good, Clint. I got nowhere else to go. Appreciate it, Scott. Thank you guys. Oh, I wanted to see what you and Rusty, let me see, Rusty and Tanner were talking about really quick here. Thanks for the AR-10 breakdown. No problem. Go fast. And Tanner was saying Ruger American Ranch 300 Blackout Suppress is a way to go. That is a super way to go. 10 out of 10 would recommend that. How's that American, Tanner? Been looking at one in 308. So I'm sure, if you guys haven't seen those bolt guns, they're pretty freaking solid. So check that out. All right. But anyway, so we'll leave it off there. Purple. So thank you guys again. Appreciate all of y'all. God bless you guys. We'll see you next time, of course, at Classic Firearms. And next Monday, I will not be on the live stream. I will be traveling a little bit for work, which will be an exciting time. So stay tuned for that. Guys, we'll see you next time. Love you. Cheers to all of you. And don't forget, go out there, support organizations like Gun Owners of America, Firearms Policy Coalition, so many others that are actually standing up and fighting for your rights. And anytime you can, just hashtag, repeal the GCA, repeal the NFA, and abolish the ATF. You know what I mean? Just hashtag that anytime you get the opportunity. It's good. It's good for social media. All right. See you guys next time. God bless. Have a good night.